Chances out of it. On a scooter.
Scooter?
Yeah.
Ika kitu kenye unarukio na
electric scooter. Yeah.
I thought that thing is like for teenagers and children.
Ukikuja hii country,
yeah.
from a third world country, take away 10 years. That's how old you are. Nilienda kusalimia instructor ama nilienda tu kuona kufinya computer nijue inafanya ama ifanye.
Yeah guys, so I have Greg here. He's of course a fully qualified UK driver.
Yeah.
He has cars. Big cars.
Unachoma na sawa.
Bana. Hebu tuambie by the way, ulibuy gari after how long kwanza?
About I think a few 6 months.
6 months after umefika UK. Yeah. So before the 6 months, obviously you're using public transport. It's hectic. Your job requires you to drive and everything.
I think I mentioned before. So context ni I came to the country 2021 December, and then I ended up buying the car a little bit later, 2022. But before that nilikuwa na scooter.
Scooter?
Yeah.
Ika kitu kenye unarukio na
electric scooter. Yeah.
I thought that thing is like for teenagers and children.
Well, sijui kama unajua, but ukikuja hii country,
yeah.
from a third world country, take away 10 years. That's how old you are.
Yeah. Damn. Damn, that's so true. Yeah, because I was looking at myself like in my job, and if I was like a British child, nimeanza nursing hapa hivi, level yenye nimefika, ni msee mwenye kama amefanya nursing in country by 27, 26 inafaa kuwa amefika pale nimefika.
Yeah.
Anyway, from that, so getting a driver's license, like venye nimeshawaambia, that's what we are going to talk about here.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us what's the first step ya msee mwenye ametoka Kenya anafaa kufanya kwa process yake ya kupata full UK license?
Yeah, I think the first thing, and I mean, as advise anyone, I didn't do this, but I advise anyone ukiingia in the country, hustle as much as possible, get gari ya kwanza within the first year. And especially as a dependent, naongelea dependent most of the time, nataka awe ni main visa holder.
Yeah, I think it applies to both people.
Yeah, both, but mostly as a dependent, it opens up jobs for you. Alafu the most important thing enye kwangu naona nika affects a lot of people, ni kwa sababu say gari ya kwanza, don't buy an expensive one, 500 sawa, 600 gari mbaya. I mean, hiyo ni gari hata utataka kukaa ndani.
Gari yenye inaenda.
Gari exactly. Gari tapita MOT. And MOT, for anyone who doesn't know, is the yearly test that is done to cars ndio ikuwe roadworthy.
Yes.
Kenya ideally inafaa kuwa nayo, but we don't do it. So gari tapita MOT, and the reason why nasema hivyo ni kwa sababu once uko na gari, then especially kama umetoka Kenya, uko na driving license from Kenya, and you're able to drive for 1 year. They allow you to do it.
Yes, you can actually drive for 1 year ukitumia the Kenyan driving license. Ile saizi they are not issuing like the paper ones, it's the digital one. So yes, it's a legit license, you can drive with it. Yeah,
for 1 year unapewa chance ya nia kudrive, alafu uta change at some point, like you said. So mi nasema mse ukiingia, first things first, get a car. Second thing, get driving. Sometimes I'd say within that time when I drive, I wouldn't say go for interim provisional. I wouldn't say go for provisional earlier on before once I could drive it. Because someone say this, and I'll confirm that ukikuwa na provisional, then you're not allowed.
I had that, but I will also need to confirm. And then again, you cannot apply for a provisional until you stayed in the UK for I think a couple of hundred, I think 185 days, I'm not really sure. Yeah, so you something have to stay. Yeah, so during this time that you're actually driving, using your Kenya driving license, here in UK, you're actually learning the roads.
Yeah, which is the most important thing.
Yes, because venye tutakuja kuongelea hapo hivyo baadaye ni it will save you a lot of money when it comes to driving instructor. Yeah. Because now you'll just be teaching yourself legally to drive in the UK roads. Yeah, so now you're done with the year, you've been driving around in the UK. And then there is insurance, by the way. You also have to get insurance to drive that car using your Kenyan license. It's going to be a bit more expensive. But
it's not that much. A 500 car, bro, you get the same. I mean, I'm saying 500 to 1,000. So 500 to 1,000. Utapata around the same price in terms of insurance. So you will actually be shocked that you will pay more insurance once you get the UK driving license. But that's compared to provisional.
Yes. With provisional, the insurance is lower because you're expected to like drive under instructions. Right. So now you've got your driving provisional. Kwanza, like, how do you apply for this provisional?
I mean, it's easy. Anyone in the UK, I mean, come apply anything from visa to company to anything. Unajua, there's always just a few steps online. Weke kadi yako ulipe, and then I think they will request for you to send your BRP or passport.
I think so. I think you do send it, and then they will return it, and then they will return the provisional. And then if you don't know, the provisional, it only costs £34. So just £34 and you get it. And then once you may arrive, then now you book for your theory test. So it allows you to book for your theory test because huwezi fanya theory or any other thing without in the process bila hiyo. So ukisha book theory test yangu, funny story ni I think I did it thrice. Because unajua, one thing about me. Hang on. Why?
Sino nasema. One thing is every single thing nilifanya in this country, sikuwa na msee, sikuwa na guidance, sikuwa around people. So for me, I never even, sikuwa na material, sikusoma, nilienda tu yani.
The first time umeenda tu kafanya tu.
Exactly.
For experience.
I joke this a lot that nilienda kusalimia instructor ama nilienda tu kuona kufinya computer nijue inafanya ama ifanye.
Ulan.
Finally nilipata 1 point less kupass. And then the second one nika fail sasa.
After ume revise.
Can you imagine? Alafu ya tatu nikapita. And that's the same as driving. But driving najua, I mean, we'll get there.
We'll get to that.
So uchukue nini yako. The advice I'd say for that is it's best for you to enda online, ongelesha wase wame pass recently, watakupea all the advice, and then get apps. There's a few apps zenye you can work with.
You can actually get information ya hizo driving test. Unaweza enda Google, on Google search. By there I used to use a lot of those. I don't remember the name of the website, but you can Google. And you can use YouTube. YouTube, yes. Wanakuanga na so many revisions for driving test, theory tests.
So umeshachukua hiyo, uko na your provisional license, you may drive for a little bit, so you know the roads. At least umeanza to get the rules in your plane, you know something about it. So the next thing is now you need to start practicing for the test. And at this point now you need to find someone mwenye akona driving license, because already now ukona provisional. So we it's no, I don't think it's legal. Some people do it. I'm not advising for you to do, but I mean, you do what you want to do. But so uingie sasa hii ni practice. Jipe 1 month peke yake.
So hiyo kaa venye unasema self practice, you can legally when you're driving during the 1 year and you are using your Kenyan license. So you can just go on Google. They do have like those mock tests. So you can just look at those instructors, what they are marking on and everything. Go and read on it on the internet and everything. And then now just get around your
There's actually an app for that as well.
There is an app, yes.
There's an app for routes.
I don't remember the name of that app. Yes, but just Google.
Yeah, so when we find time, we'll leave all these links for anyone who needs it.
Yeah, I think
so. So tumetoka hapo, umepata nini yako, you practice. I say give you a month peke yake. Yeah, usikuwe na pupa. Usikuwe na don't overdo it kwa sababu chances are utafail.
No, but why would we go into that exam with the failure mentality? Actually, let's just before that, because there are people who haven't really bought cars, so they'll have to go to the instructors, because you have to know these roads before you go for the test.
Yeah, so that now we'll give the alternative.
Okay.
At some point we'll give the alternative. But let's just run through what we're saying and then we'll justify. All right. So ukuje uchukue your driving license and then uko na provisional and then umeanza ku drive, book your test as soon as possible. There's a few apps like I said, we'll paste all these things, and some of them work as for a certain amount, some of them don't. But book your immediately umepass test yako, book your tests a month in advance minimum, and then it can go until 3-6 months. It doesn't matter. Sometimes they say you book in a far place alafu utarudisha with the apps, which is another conversation that we'll have later, probably in another one. How to book, how to do all these things. I think it's just good kukoa tu umeka chini and instructions.
Yeah, exactly.
Fanya test yako, enda test yako ya kwanza, fail, which is, if it's crawl is 40%, 60% failure for the people when you practice. For the people kaa wewe umeingia tu yako ya kwanza, endo fail.
That's what
exactly. And my story is because nimesema I never had anyone, na mimi nilikuwa one of the few people in my batch, so wale walikuja around my time, mimi ndo nilikuwa na kierere. That makes sense. Mimi ndo nilikuwa kwanza kwenda for that test. Siku ya kwanza nimeenda test, sijaongea na mtu yote. Nimeingia kwa gari, nimeenda test. I remember someone dropping me. So wameenda, amenidrop, ametoka ameenda. Sawa. Mimi kukaa hapo kwa test, naingia kwa ile waiting room. Naulizia ni aje wase, gari gani tunatumia?
Azee.
This is why it's funny, because you're supposed to come with your car or an instructor's car. Mine was not. Alafu unajua gari lazima ikuwe na, so in the UK for your test utakuwa na L plate, utakuwa na like a mirror, dummy mirror, inastikiwa. Second rear view mirror. Second rear view mirror.
Second rear mirror for the instructor. So najua hii moja ni ya dereva, hii ni yako, alafu saa ingine ni ya instructor, ndio pia yako anaona
penye unaenda. So second rear view mirror, mimi sikukuja na anything, but luckily wanakuanga nazo.
Okay. Na gari sasa unafanya exam na gari gani?
Yangu.
Gari yako ilikuwa imeachwa hapo hiyo, but okay. Nice.
No, hapana, so you can drive na provisional as long as uko na msemo yako experience. So I had someone mwenye alikuwa experience. So alikuja anakaenda. So nika fail vizuri tu.
Clean. Uliangukia dakika ngapi?
Funny thing is sikuanguka early, which I was shocked. I wasn't sikuanguka early, but nilianguka a couple of times, if that makes sense. Because this is I'll explain it this way. There's some things utafanya mara mingi and then it becomes a big fault. Kama speed. Ukienda mahali ukose kwenda speed.
I think ukifanya the same minor mara 3 inakuwa serious.
Exactly. Sasa hivyo ndo mimi nilidu. So zilikuwa minor, but then nilifanya bila, so without knowing mimi nilifanya kama mara 3. Nilikuwa place ya 70, nilikuwa 60, nilikuwa 20 ama 30, unaona? So mimi na play safe nikidhani but obviously
examiner anasema you are crawling on the
exactly. So hizo zote, but I think nearly changed lane kwa roundabout. This is all driving jargon. But nili fail. Ya pili nikaenda nika fail last minute. And then ya tatu nika pass. Now, what's the alternative? So nimesema, so the story is this.
Yeah.
Come, buy a car as soon as possible. Make sure that it's a cheap car.
Yeah.
Practice. Alafu fanya theory, fanya your test. And then fail a couple of times, which is £60 each.
£62 to be
£62 each, and then pass.
The theory test, for your information, ina cost £23.
23. So umeenda £23, ukicalculate hizi vitu zote, 62 times 3 on 189 plus 23 on 200, alafu uweke na 1000 ya gari na 1000 ya nini, si ndio?
Ya instructor.
Yeah, insurance. So 2000.
Oh, okay.
2300 at most, sawa?
2300. Yes.
Hiyo ndo calculation ya kwanza.
And that's the cheapest.
No, hatujafika kwa alternative. So this is the alternative.
That is the cheapest way. That is the cheapest.
The reason Sheikh anasema hivyo is because he did the opposite. And I told him the first time we met, nikamwambia Buddha, acha ku waste time, just go and fail ukam.
Yeah.
And then lastly ukaenda ukafail, and then quote unquote ukaenda kufail, and then you ended up passing. Anyway.
Yes. When I really didn't give a shit about it. That's
exactly. No reason I'm saying don't fail, because then there's no nerves.
Yeah.
So this alternative is this. When uchukue gari after 1 or 2 years.
Or maybe the alternative wenye unasema ni get a license first.
Exactly.
Get a UK license first, then get a car.
Yeah. Which is the alternative.
Yes.
I think that's what you did.
That's what I did.
Alright. Let us cost it, man. Umeka hapa 1 year. Transport yote must have been more than nini, umekuwa winter and everything umeteseka. Achana na hiyo. That's just
hata hiyo acha
you can't even cost it
because hiyo we can't count that.
Exactly. When ulipe, so instructor kama ni automatic ni
£40 per hour.
Yeah. Minimum
ina depend kama wewe ni mse unajua kuendesha gari, but wacha tuseme ka 20 hours.
Yeah, minimum. You only got £800.
£800. That's like the lowest. That's on the lowest side.
No, ukimaliza hiyo 20 hours, because you only got 10 lessons. Because a lesson is 2 hours. So ukimaliza 20 hours, instructor atakuambia
you are not even close. Hata wewe mwenyewe utakuwa tu una feel you are not, because huyu ni mse tuna assume hajawahi guza gari
in the UK.
In the UK.
Anaweza kuwa alishaiguza hata
anywhere. Hata alishaiguza gari Kenya maybe long time ago, wherever.
Hata kama umedrive tu bado
bado itakuwa ngori, but instructor atakwambia tu bado.
That's their goal.
That's their
goal. They have to upsell you anyway.
I mean, si lazima hao pia wako hapo wanataka job wako, and it's your very good money if someone is giving you £40 per hour, and I mean direct your bank account. Exactly. Personal bank account.
Na kuna mna drive yana tu mwende mkam. So to £2,000 at least
tuweke tu 2K ya training.
Bayo ni at least.
Hiyo ni at least, by the way.
Umenisikia ama? Wacha tuipe hata 1500. Wacha tuko tu azuri.
No. We can't do that. Let's put it at 2000. I have
so 2000. Umenisikia? Because ideally they tell you have to have 100 lessons. 100 hours, sorry.
Yeah.
So ukienda for what they're saying, that's around what, 40K?
Yeah.
If 4,000. Yeah. So ideally they're telling you need to have 4,000. But on the lower side, $2,000 ni sawa.
2K.
Aya, umebook test yako, on the day of the test you pay for another 2 hours.
2 hours. Hiyo ni
nika 80
pounds. Yes.
So ni 80 plus 60
plus 62 plus 2000
plus 2000.
Yeah.
Alafu weke 62 plus 80 times kama mara 2 ama 3.
Yes.
Averagely.
62 times? 62 times tuseme 3. Alafu plus into bracket 80 times 3.
Ndio nasema 62 plus 80. Yes.
So we are talking about to 2500.
2500.
Ujabai gari
bado.
Na kwa ile ingine tulisema after ushabai gari ushapita test ina cost 2K. Now 2.5 na ushabaya insurance. So now Mungu amekusaidia sana, ushapita exam. With 500 you una gari.
Hauna gari. Hujaendesha? No, ujue, funny thing is this, the reason why itafika 2 grand ni kwa sababu every single lesson unaenda, you have to practice. You don't have a car to practice. So
no.
Nika tu you're practicing, money is 40 pound.
Yes.
And that's why it gets more as expensive. So ukishamaliza hiyo ujanua gari, si ndio uende uanze kutafuta gari sasa. And because to you is like, Mr. Seka, let me buy my car. You're not gonna buy a 500 pound car. Bro.
No.
Ushaka in the country 2-3 years.
Ukona full UK. By the way, ushaka ka wale wase wenye kaa nyinyi mlibaingi zile za 500 mshaziuza msha upgrade.
Exactly. So you want to be like your peers.
Yes, you want to be like your peers now. But hujui kumbe hawa wenye wamekaa kuna kitu inaitwa no claim. No claim bonus. So wewe umedrive UK for 1 year already, uko na 1 year no claim bonus. So your insurance imeenda down, yangu bado iko top mbaya. So nimeenda nimebuy gari expensive.
Ndio umebuy gari 3K. Ama nataka ni 2K, insurance kupiga car 1200 ama 1500.
Tuseme itakupiga saizi ni ngori buda 1200 wallahi, hiyo na utakuwa umehurumiwa. Tuseme 1500. 45 imeingia.
Hiyo ni ka 10 grand, 6 to 10 grand bro.
Yeah. So
by the time una drive
utakuwa umespend 7K, 6K.
Exactly.
Yes.
So without prolonging this, because this can go as long as we can.
Yeah.
The end of it, if you're coming to the UK and you want to progress in your career and progress as fast as possible, the first thing nasema unafaa kufanya is you have to get a driver's license.
But and really, there are trains, kuna mabasi, kuna mataxi, kuna maskuta. Do you really need a car in UK?
Yes, you do.
Why?
Because you're coming as a working class. And because you're coming as a working class, it means that the more mobile you are, the easier it is for you to move up your career ladder.
It adds value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So kuna so many jobs watasema full driver's license.
Shockingly, like me nakumbuka the other time I was in the hospital and I was applying for some non-bedside nursing jobs. And one of the requirements was like full UK driving license.
Yeah.
Na ukiona job yenyewe, it's not that it involves like a lot of driving or anything. Unaweza panda basi, but the first qualification, when you are going to apply for the jobs, the first thing they ask about your status of your right to work.
Yeah.
And then the second question is, do you have a full UK? The first one una check. The pili, no. Inakwambianga tu you cannot proceed with this application.
Yeah.
Na inafunga hiyo.
So drivers, like, you might not need it. Ukikuja hapa even a high paying job, sawa. And maybe you're not a dependent. So wase wengi wamekuja huku na there's other jobs, auditors, finance, whatever. Yeah, they work in London or Italy.
Yeah, if you are working in like central London, then you really don't need to drive. Yeah. But at some point, you need to travel outside London. So again, you need a car.
Yeah.
Because if you are under the age of 30, then you can apply for a rail card. So utakuwa unalipia train for 2/3 of the fare. So a third inakuwa discount. So if you are older than 30, then you need a car, because place yenye ulikuanga unalipa 100 pounds kwa train, saizi utakuwa unalipa 130. Yeah. Na kama ungekuwa na drive, maybe ungekuwa ingekunywa mafuta ya 30 pounds. Get so it's even. So I think a car is something ni kitu yenye ni.
No, you need it, especially kama.
You do need it, yeah.
If you're growing, you're becoming a family man.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Hey, mazo utafanya aje school runs?
Exactly. My wife used to do a school run. Kutoka hapa Southgate, which is like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
Alikuwa na take 1 hour.
A whole 1 hour. Na snow, na baridi, na mashetani.
Exactly. You need a car. Wacha to prolong this to the next, to
you
everything.
Need a car in UK. The UK is actually built
It's not actually. No, it's not actually that much. But the people who don't need a car CCC, kuna watu wenye kama unajua ni immigrant, put yourself where you are, like know your position, bro. Unaona, ukikaa umeishi hapa hivi, maybe umezaliwa huku, maybe shule iko next penye unaishi, your grandma naishi sijui wapi, then you never need to move so far. So job yako ni hapo.
Then in that case, but you still need to travel, you need to go and do shopping, it's snowing.
But unaweza chukua ndai ya mamako, unaelewa, like
but you see utachukua ndai ya mama yako drive na driving license.
You need a driving license, but gari, but to be very honest, in this country, the thing wenye si hatuna yenye wase wengi wako hii country wako nayo is generations. So I'd always make it in this country kama hauna generations. Mko na generation 2-3 hapo hivi kwa hii country, mwezi compare. That's why Caribbean people are the highest net worth black people in this country, because
wako na generations.
Exactly. So the more generation uko nayo, kwa sababu unaimagine kaa uligrow kwa nyumba kai, instantly budako ama wazazi wako ni millionaires, unaona?
Yeah, of course.
So now you can use equity ya nyumba, was going back to real estate. Mnaweza chukua pesa against hiyo nyumba, mwende mnunue nyumba yako.
Mazee.
Unaona?
Bana.
You can refinance that house, and that's what most people do. Mulizaliwa mkalelewa kwa nyumba fulani, mkakuwa bigi, hiyo nyumba yenyu ika increase in value, mkaenda mkachukua do kutoka against hiyo hao, mkeka kwa nyumba ingine. And then unaona sasa hiyo chain of events hamwezi compare nao, because unakuja kutoka zero.
Anyway, the thing is, guys, get a driver's license. So when tumesema the first process, if you are coming now, if you are in Kenya, first of all, get the Kenyan driving license. Don't bother na ile kitu yenye inaitangwa sijui international driving license. It's totally a waste of money and time. Just get a normal Kenyan driving license. Come to UK, drive for 1 year, learn the roads, then from there get the provisional, then do your theory, and then after theory apply for your tests, go enda uifanye. Ukibahatika uipite first time, shukuru Mungu. Usipo ipita first time, do it the second time, do it the third time, do it the fourth time, do it the sixth time. No, don't do it the sixth time, pita exam. And then after that
11.
Kuna mtu alifika 11, na by the way unajua that's a very intelligent person. Not entirely, but
it's debatable, man.
It is very debatable. But but haku give up. That's why nimesema ni intelligent, because unajua the moment ange give up inamaanisha all these thousands zenye amekuwa amespend anazi throw out into the drain. So never give up with the practice test, and then after that get your DL, and then songa na maisha, endelea kudrive, lipa insurance, na we enjoy life. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching until this point. Keep on subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing, and the next video will even be better than this one.
Let's do it.
Exactly.
Shukran.
Was.
Thank you, bro.